psychological balance. So you want to know that it is not internally contradictory. Put another way, is it internally consistent as to the primary or the anchor or the gravamen of that religion? And then number 3, we want to know whether that religion accepts us. To embrace a religion that rejects you will only lead in continual frustration. Rather than finding security, you will find confusion. We cannot stand any more confusion. These 3 criterion we will employ to evaluate for our individual purposes what religion is most satisfying individually. Not for the family, not for the race, not for the United Kingdom, not for America, but for you as an individual. Not even your wife. You must decide for yourself what religion you will have. Secondly, we will talk about the religion as an instrument of reform and values and operational institutions. So, we can begin. We will first look at Christianity from the perspective of whether or not the primary ingredients are reasonable. First of all, Christianity and Islam and Judaism share some common features. All believe in God. One may call God Jehovah, or Jehovah Jireh, or Jehovah Elohim. One may call God. One may call Allah. The Spanish may call Dios. The French may call Dieu. But we're talking about the same thing. The creator of the universe. God. Unmoved mover. The Christians believe that God made man and put man in the Garden of Eden in an almost perfect environment. Man did not have to toil, didn't have to hunt, didn't have to fish. Food was provided for man and his mate on a daily basis, properly balanced. There was an opportunity to get exercise every day. Weather, climatic conditions, marvelous. The animals and the plants recognized man as the trustee of the Garden of Eden, everything lovely and beautiful until man, misled by the devil or Shaitan, disobeyed the commandment of God. And then everything changed. Man was expelled from the Garden of Eden. No more lovely, beautiful, harmonious life. From the day of expulsion until the day of Jesus, man was condemned to work and sweat in order to survive on this planet. Women were condemned to have children accompanied with labor, pain. The serpent, the medium that was employed by the devil or Shaitan to corrupt man, was cursed to crawl on his belly. The judgment was made. And then, according to the Christians, a promise was made that one day would send a redeemer for man, so that man wouldn't be punished forever. A redeemer, a process of redemption and salvation would be accorded to man, so that man might be restored to the proper relationship with his God. This is one of the key pillars of Christianity. The next is that Redeemer is Jesus. And Jesus died on the cross so that we might be saved. And as a result of his death and resurrection, we are told that the sin of Adam can be removed. My question is, does that make sense? Does it make any sense? We have to ask that question. Not because we are against Christianity, but because we must apply the rule of reason to the basic tenets of Christianity or Islam before we can determine that the religion for our individual purposes is appropriate. First of all, embodied in that doctrine is the affirmation that we as human beings are being punished by a just God for something we didn't do. A sin committed by Adam. I wasn't there, you weren't there, we didn't have anything to do with it, my mother wasn't there, my grandfather wasn't there. Why would they be punished for something they didn't do? Doesn't make sense. But without the concept of the Adamic sin, there's no reason for Jesus. There's no reason to die on the cross. If we don't have any sin, why God sent his son to die on the cross? That's the question. Doesn't make any sense. If Adam committed sin, Adam would be punished. That's the end of it. That's justice. If Eve committed sin, Eve will be punished, and that's the end of it. But if now there is an opportunity for the sin to be taken away, even though we didn't commit sin, how can you take away from me something I didn't do? Let us assume you can take away the sin of Adam. What would you be like if the sin were taken away? First of all, because of the sin, man was kicked out of the Garden of Eden. So if you don't have any more sin, you should go back to the Garden of Eden. Women were condemned to bear children in pain. If you believe in Jesus and he took away the sin of Adam, you shouldn't have any more pain in childbirth. Next, the serpent was crawling on his belly as a result of Adam's transgression. So if you have that transgression removed, at least the serpents in your yard should be standing up and walking just like you. It doesn't make sense. On the other hand, Islam tells every person, every human being, you will be judged by your deeds, by what you do. That is why you strive to follow Allah. You strive to live a righteous life, because on the day of judgment, your record, not Adam's record, your record will be manifest. And you will either be condemned or you will be rewarded. That is consistent with the concept of justice. No confusion. You don't have to become enlightened. You don't need a dictionary.